Hello, everyone. Today we have some very, very, very sad news. Matpat from Game Theory is leaving YouTube. Now, this is going to be a really, sad video. So if you guys do not feel comfortable with watching me and him cry, you guys can leave.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I will be hosting my last Theory episode.
No!
I'll be handing off the channels to someone else.
Dude! Why?
There it is. That's it. Send tweet.
Why?
Well done here. That's all you need to know, right? Oh, wow.
Tell me. You can't just leave me like that.
Well, you mean
I'm a little bit more disorganized than usual. Normally, I would want to script out something like this pretty precisely.
We follow all your
But
FNAF
with an
theories,
announcement
man.
like this,
Come
I wanted
on.
to bring it back to just us. There's no one else in the room. There's no teleprompters. There's no nothing. It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us. And sorry that I keep getting emotional about this. I'll try not to, but it's a big deal. You know, like, if you think about it, this channel is Steph and my
I really
child.
am.
Really. Before we had Ollie, before we had Skip, Catbat, like, it was this. This was our baby. This channel has been going for 13
Good
years.
Lord.
I think in total it's somewhere around like 1,200 theories. And only half of those are FNAF.
Yeah.
Shocking. I know, we actually did stuff that wasn't FNAF related.
Yeah,
But
Like Poppy
this
Playtime.
has been a literal
gonna finish
third
Poppy
of my
Playtime.
life. And I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too!
I
I'm
value what
actually
we have
starting to
here.
cry.
I value this conversation, this openness, this relationship that we share. And I'm sad that I won't be able to see you every week.
He's actually
Which
crying, too.
Then I guess prompts the question of like, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I making this announcement today?
Yeah.
Why am I walking away
Well,
from
I'd
the
like to
channels?
know.
Well, to be honest, it was Tom Scott. You can blame Tom Scott. Tom just did his farewell video, and I'm like, well, he was able to do it. I want to be able to fly away in a helicopter. Obviously, that's not it. But really, my reasons for making this announcement today is probably largely the same as Tom's reasons, or Seth Everman's, or Captain Sparkles, or Papa Meats, or Stampy Longheads. Like, there's a lot of these videos that are coming out these days, and there's going to be a lot more happening throughout this year. Steph and I have known this video would be coming for the last 3 years. We weren't sure it was necessarily going to be today. We didn't know exactly when it would fall.
Can you
but
please
we knew
no?
It was going to
Don't
happen
leave.
eventually.
Yeah, you like
That's
the
why
face
over the last couple of years we've
of
been
YouTube.
staffing up
Dude,
so
you
much.
were
That's
my
why we partnered
childhood,
with
please.
a larger company to help run the channels. That's why we've been spending so much time outside of this box training up the team to make the best videos that they can. Because
No,
we
your
knew
videos
that we
were
couldn't do
great.
this forever. We knew that
Entertaining.
honestly we didn't want to do this forever. For as much as I love you and I love overthinking things and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are going to come out of that.
Why?
miss it.
I don't want you to leave, man.
That's a big reason. That was a big one
Seriously,
right there.
like,
But
this is
also
too much,
just
man.
The internet's changing. My life has changed in the last 13 years. I mentioned Dolly before. He's the coolest little dude, and he's getting older by the minute. And I watch him, and he has so much fun, and he is so much smarter than I was.
Dude, thank you for
when I
the
was his
amazing
age.
13
He also probably
years,
knows
though.
the FNAF lore
Yeah.
better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly, I want to be able to spend more time with him. Another sad
good
fact of the
thing.
matter is
But-
I'm getting older. I'm 37 now. The other day, I actually had to Google my own age. And you know that when you have to start like doing math in your head to calculate how old you are over the hill, my friends. Though to be fair, to my credit,
I'm
I think I'm
15.
like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibbity Toilet. Then again, maybe that's the problem, right? Like,
Why?
maybe that's not a good thing. And honestly, because
one liked
this is
that.
all about us being honest, there is a bit of a selfish side to this? When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me, problem, right? Like, maybe that's not a good thing. And honestly, because this is all about us being honest, there is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe.
Dude,
and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me,
Matt,
in my journey in this place,
Go on, Matt.
I always wanted to go out on a high
You
note.
were
And
literally
when you
like the
stop
father
and look at the
that
last year,
actually
it's been the best year in
Well,
the
how do I
theorist's
rephrase this?
lifespan.
He
ever.
is-
Like,
he
no
is the
joke.
father
It is our highest
of the
view
internet.
year. It
Yeah,
is the
of
year
theory.
where we launched
Yes.
style theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top.
Dude, you are the
style and
reason why I
fashion
fell in
channels
love
on
with
YouTube,
FNAF.
And that kind
Please.
of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different, and no other YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that scale. That's amazing. This is also the year where I was able to meet you guys at our Broadway show. I was able to play at the PGA and show that, hey, YouTubers aren't particularly good at golf, but they can make your event relevant for like a couple of minutes. It was
Thank
also the
you,
year
I
that I
guess.
got to host the Streamy Awards, and it wasn't cringe. I mean, to be fair, the Streamy Awards are always a little bit cringe,
Yeah.
but it was the right amount of cringe. When I
Dude, if
pull
you
up
start
videos
talking
of all my
again
favorite creators,
about your
and I
like
watch them, and all of a sudden
thing,
I
I'm
start
going to
hearing
cry.
people just
You
casually
already
drop
did.
in, that's just
Shut
a
up.
theory.
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now, this is just a theory, people.
At the end of the day, it's just a game theory.
That's just a theory. A Freebirds theory.
Also, a lot of lore, so if you're a big theory head, proceed at your own risk.
I did not know about this theory.
That's a theory.
That right there, that is incredible. That's the note that I want to leave on.
I like how
And that's how you just know it's the right time. All of those reasons
yeah,
coming
Jane
together.
Animations actually
saying, hey,
like got like the
This
look
is the moment.
very
And that's
well.
hard to say
Yeah, especially for an animation.
because
Yeah.
change is scary. Change is hard. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision.
Or it's
The
wrong
easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF Part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is with a video game analogy. Feels appropriate, right? Whoa, it's game theory. Ha! Did it. Check the game part of it off. But the way I like to think about
Is he
it
gonna like
is
for his final thing on this?
Earthbound.
He's gonna play.
I
His,
think I've made
the
it pretty
old
clear over the years
intro?
that is, without question, my favorite game of all time. Sans' Nest, all that, you're all familiar with that. But what you might not be familiar with at this point is how the game ends. At the end of Earthbound, after you save the world, everything opens up to you. You can revisit every single location that you've been to. You can talk to every NPC that you met on your journey. And it's this incredible moment as a gamer. You see just how many lives have been impacted thanks to your journey. And then after spending as much time as you want talking to all those people, you end up back home. You go back to where it all began, where you were just a kid waking up in bed and starting your adventure. And even though
can't
your
do
mom's
this.
there and your dog's there and your weird telephone dad's there, it feels different somehow. Like,
What?
sure, this is still a place of love and acceptance and comfort and security, but you just don't quite fit anymore. Because you just traveled the
always
world. You
fit.
made all
You
these new
always fit
friends.
it in.
You are different. You grew
Dude,
up.
don't tell yourself
And your
that.
relationship to this place grows up. It evolves. In case you couldn't tell, I'm Ness, which I guess would also mean that I'm also Sans. But I was also Ness in the FNAF movie, which just opens up all sorts of weird canon. Slap a thumbnail on that one. So anyway, there you have it. That is why I'm leaving. I hope you can understand. But that obviously begs the question of like, what happens to the channels? Well,
Yeah.
for the next 10 weeks, we're gonna have ourselves a big old going away party. If Unis Anus taught us anything, it taught us that you probably shouldn't use urine for a personal sauna. But if Unis Anus
Yeah.
taught us 2 things, one was to not soak in your own urine, but 2 was to appreciate the time that you have left. So that's why over the next 10 weeks, we're gonna have a bunch of theories that are gonna be a lot of fun, revisiting old favorites, getting some closure on things, we're gonna see some familiar faces, a lot of awesome stuff. Although to be fair, I think it's 9 weeks, and I think we counted this one as week 1. That was stupid of us. That, my friends, is how you wind up getting Wario being 10 feet tall. Mathematical rigor.
Wait,
Double
Wario's
check me
10
on
foot?
this. So I have 9 theories left on each of the channels, but we're going to call them Matpat's Final 10 because that just sounds better. At which point then on March 9th, we're going to have that big going away celebration, Matpat's Final Theory, and I just dust away. I stand astride my music
Dude,
man, and I just whip
I'm not
Ray-Nay
letting
off
Thanos
into the
snap
distance.
you.
But then something special happens. Do the channels go away with me? No, actually.
Oh.
I've always thought that
But, like,
anyone
they're not gonna be the
can a
same
theorist,
without
right?
you,
If you are
man.
passionate about a topic and you love to overthink it and
Like-
over-research it, then congratulations,
Shit.
you're a theorist. And that
I'm
could
gonna
range
get-
from, hey, I have
just-
family recipes that
Like,
I'm
I
constantly
honestly have
looking
no
to refine,
words.
to,
I can't really
hey,
talk.
I want to
Yeah.
create the perfect fantasy
hard to
sports
talk.
team. Because here's the thing, sports pros, at the end of the day, if you are in the statistics and numbers and doing calculations to see if your team won or lost, you're just playing a glorified Dungeons and Dragons game. Hate to break it to you, you're one of us, my friends. And sure, game theory is a format that I created. It's a show with this very excitable host who makes a lot of cringy dad jokes and says the word lore a lot. But at the end of the day, it's more than just the host. It is a show. It is a format. And in a broader sense, it is a state of mind. It's a way of thinking and approaching the world around you. It's more than just the host. And when you think about it, not a lot of YouTube channels
Do not
function
hug me.
that way. We're special in that regard. Like, you're not going to be able to get another Markiplier stepping into the Markiplier channel. And you're never going to be able to recreate Jenna Marbles. And to be honest, you're never going to get another Matpat either. But
Yeah.
you can have another game theorist. You can have another film theorist or food theorist or style theorist. I think in a lot of ways, we almost function kind of like the Doctor Who of YouTube, where as one host fades away, a new one kind of respawns in their place. And they're able to put their own unique spin and flavor on the
Dude.
format and make it their unique thing. You have eras of the different theorists.
I would love
channels,
to
and
meet
so,
you, man.
You know,
Honestly,
my era's fading away and someone new is coming in.
Like,
this is the David Tennant
Meeting
to Matt Smith
Matpat would
transition,
be like
right?
an insane.
Good, solid series of episodes
thing.
right there.
Like a
so who
dream
then
come
is going to be
true.
taking over the channels? Well, I don't know if
I
you've
guess you're not
noticed
with
this,
that
but
chance, will
fewer
you?
and fewer
No,
of the
I
words
won't.
that I'm saying in
That's
any given episode
sad.
are actually mine. If you go down to the credits, you can actually see in the description that there are certain names that have been appearing more and more frequently. Like, yeah, I'm listed on every single one as the writer because I touch every single script, I polish it into my voice, but in all honesty, the bulk of what I'm saying is coming from someone else. It's their research, it's their work. Why should they have to filter their creativity through my voice? I've always envisioned these channels as a place where we could spotlight all sorts of creators. I mean, it even goes back to the original
can't-
URL of this channel, right? It isn't game theory, it was always the game theorists, because this was a place where you could find a lot of like-minded creators, all with a passion for gaming and education. That's why we had the partner shows like Gaijin Goomba with Culture Shock, or Drake with Smash History, or Ryder with A Brief History, or Austin with The Science, and Lee with Breakdown. They were all here because we all had a similar goal: to educate people through the lens of gaming. And then YouTube pivoted and then made it so that way doing a channel in that style doesn't really work anymore. But we still tried to keep that ethos alive by making sure that we're regularly covering small indie projects. Stuff like OnlyCans, like Mandela Catalog, like OWO. OWO? See? I learned. But if we're doing that for all these other creators, why aren't we doing it for the creators on our own staff who have been in the trenches doing the research, writing these words to deliver to you over the last couple of years? I have been so blessed to have this platform available to me that you've given me over the last 13 years.
Please
But I
don't
think now
leave.
it's time to pass it on to the next
It's
generation.
his time, man. He wants
Time to give someone else a shot.
We're just
But
gonna
I
have to
realize
accept
that I'm
it.
getting off track here. So back to the question:
He's gonna do
who's
it if
taking
we
over?
want
First
him
off,
to
it's not
leave or
going to
not.
one person,
It's
but
just
rather
like our
four.
sister.
I would not wish my schedule on
Well, she
anyone.
left.
Like, sure,
To
I'm willing to
college.
not sleep
Yeah,
for the last
she
13
doesn't
years of my
have
life, but I feel
really
like
anymore.
as old man YouTube passing this along to the next generation, I should probably do my best to try and make it more sustainable for them. It's also going to people that you're already familiar with. You've seen them showing up in shorts. You've seen them here on the couch with me for GT Live. You've sometimes seen them washing their hair with me in my own shower. Don't read too much into that, but it is accurate. Most importantly, though, they're each an expert in their
Yeah,
own individual
we won't
subject matter.
promise.
And they've been spearheading the creative of the channels for the
Even
better
though we
part of the
usually
last
do.
year. And I think what's maybe the most fascinating about all of this is that each of the four of them come to us from a completely different angle. You know, so for instance, you have Lee, right? Lee's gonna be taking over film theory. And Lee has been with us for 10 years. 10 years, it's crazy. I believe he was actually editor number 3 for the channels. We had Ronnie, and then we had Ryder, Foot of a Ferret, and then we had Lee. I think his first theory that he ever worked on was Rosalina's Peach's daughter, Peach is Dead, one of my all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done on the channel. And over time, he rose up. He had his own show on the channel here. He had Breakdown, which were these just beautiful documentaries that were edited in such an incredible way.
Dude.
And since then, he's been spearheading a lot of the creative on both the writing and the visual side. And then, of course, you have Amy over on Style Theory. And Amy is actually a very different case here. When she first approached us, I think it was 6 years ago, she didn't know about the channels. All she knew was that she wanted to learn everything that she could about digital video, and that Theorist was kind of the place that you went to learn that stuff. Like, we were the best when it comes to analytics and optimization and programming and things like that.
really
She got
are the
in
best.
and she just devoured everything that we threw at her. So much so that she eventually got to the point where she was so good that she was consulting the largest mobile game company in the world based off of the stuff that we were working on here in studio. Incredible. And all of that while being responsible for packaging somewhere around like 500 episodes across all the channels. And then she helped me and Steph brainstorm Style Theory for 2 years before the channel eventually launched, hoping that maybe one day she would be able to rise into the hosting role for it. And now here it is. And then, of course, you have Santi and Tom. Santi over on Food Theory and Tom over here on Game Theory. And interestingly enough, they both grew up watching Game Theory. We were their childhood show, which, to be fair,
Dude,
just
you
shows
are
how
my
old we are.
childhood
Santi
show.
would eventually
You can't
go work
leave.
at Mythical with Rhett and Link before coming here, where he is bravely spearheading Food Theory and letting me mercilessly make fun of all of his recipes. He's
Dude, I'm
much
gonna
better than I give him
miss
credit
this
for. I
guy.
just like giving him a hard time. And then Tom, he worked at Disney and Fox, but he knew all along that he wanted to be here, right? Like, this was his aspirational goal. He wanted to write here. He emailed us a cold email outreach. We just miraculously saw it, decided to audition him, and he crushed it. His first episode that he worked on was actually watching every single installment of the Pokemon anime to calculate Pikachu's level. And to be fair, that was his pitch. Like, I have asked people to do some crazy things in the past, but not even I'm that brutal. Like, you can only watch Team Rocket blast off so many times, but he's like, this is an episode I'm passionate about. I think I'm gonna knock it out of the ballpark, and I'm gonna show you how committed I am. And he has been so committed ever since. So committed, in fact, that I told him, hey, if you're joining the channels, you do realize that you're gonna have to read every single FNAF book. And he's like, boom, he did it. And we're up here going crazy in the FNAF addict. But not only did he read every FNAF novel, he also read every single Hello Neighbor book. Yeah, he went that far. Currently, he's working his way through Bendy because the new movie's coming up. If nothing else, I think that really proves
Wait, what?
the level of commitment and also
Bendy's
his
making a movie?
appropriate level of insanity. He's a bit off the cuff at times. Like, I don't know if you saw on a recent GT Live, but Tom was here on the couch with me, and he actually denied that the moon existed, which was a choice.
Main character from the chat says, that sounds like somebody who doesn't have a flag on the moon.
I mean, that's if you believe it's even there.
The moon?
I don't think he actually believes that, but if he does, we're going to get some weird Majora's Mask theories, let me tell you. When I go out at this point, I am recognized at least 5 times. It's crazy. It's a really high number at this point. And
'Cause you're
it's
such a
fascinating
lovable
split
guy.
Because 50%
And you're
of the
such a
time it's like,
well-known
oh my
guy.
gosh, you're
Your
Matpat.
look.
You were my childhood. I loved watching your FNAF theories.
Well,
and
your
I
look
was
is
like,
just
well,
Dude,
yeah,
I-
still going. And they're like,
same.
what?
I
No way.
love
We
watching your
talk about the
FNAF
new game, and
theories.
it's always really fun. But the
Even
other
to this
half
day.
is, oh my
Like
gosh,
yesterday, I
Matpat,
was watching one.
You are my childhood. I'm watching you right now. I loved your most
And
recent theory.
I recently watched like your
That's awesome. That's such
Finance
an
of
honor.
Freddy's Help 1 and
I've
2
been so honored
gameplay.
to be a part of all of your lives. But I think it's time for someone else to have that honor. I think it's time for someone else to get to ruin some childhoods. And that just kind of leaves us with one final question, right? Which is, what about me? You know, where do I go? Do I just retire to a beach somewhere? Do I whip a nene off into the distance? No. I'll still be here. Obviously, first off, we've got our final 10 episodes, like I said. So that's, well, it wasn't 10 episodes. However many episodes are left between now and March 9th, we got those.
Okay.
I'm going to be on GT Live from now until the foreseeable future.
Got it.
Probably until the end of the summer. That feels about right. And then we have the big going away video on March 9th. After that, I, stand aside as Santi, Lee, Amy, and Tom step up and take over the hosting role. But I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be alongside the creative directors talking about programming, brainstorming ideas for upcoming episodes. That's awesome. I love that. I don't want to give that up. But the other cool thing about this is that it opens up the door for me to turn the script. For the last 13 years, I've been commenting on other people's IP. But now that I'm stepping out of those roles, I get to create the IP. Still as a part of Theorist, but I get to create things that are going to challenge those new hosts of the channel. Things that I've had in the back of my mind from years of studying media that I can now make a reality and the channels can comment on them. Things like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really gonna dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi. I am so stoked about this. The music is sounding really good. The animations are coming together really well.
Wait,
That's
so
gonna be
are
launching
you
in a couple
making like
weeks.
a
We'll see if
show
Lee
or like
over
is
on
this a
Film Theory is
channel?
gonna be able to solve it. In April, I'm actually gonna be coming back onto Style Theory to host a giant fashion show that we're doing there. We all collectively had this thought of like, hey, online brands, online influencers are coming up with their own apparel lines. Why is there no place to showcase that sort of stuff? And then it hit us like, hey, we have a style and fashion channel. Why aren't we doing it ourselves? Creators in Fashion by Style Theory, that is coming to you in April, hosted by me. Some of the time that I'm not hosting the channels, I'm gonna be practicing my runway walk. Because let me tell you, if I'm sashaying down the runway, if I'm stomping the runway, it's not gonna be pretty right now. So I need to practice that a little bit. There's also this animation show that we did a pilot for in like the middle of last year. It's basically like if you took Gravity Falls but aged it up and made it about adulting. It's really, really solid. And also there's this video game idea that I've wanted to do for like so long that I've never had the opportunity to really like dive into and make reality. But now it's my chance to step into the role of Scott Cawthon and challenge the new game theorist. There's always been the memes about are
Wait,
Scott
what?
Cawthon and I the same person?
Are you
Not
making a
yet.
game?
But who knows? Maybe starting later this year.
Dude,
And those are
I'm
just
not-
the
You said
immediate things that I
Scott
have on my
Cawthon.
to-do list because
We're making a Final
I want to
Fantasy
make
game.
fun, cool things for you. And
Are you helping
even if
Scott
it's not a
Cawthon?
weekly episode,
Well, remember he
I
left.
still want to give those
No,
things
he-
to you. 'Cause I think
He's
you'll
like
them.
Matpat. He's like
You
behind
matter
the
to me.
scenes. He still
You
helps,
are
but he doesn't
so
make the
important
games.
to me. Every single one of those people who stopped me
I'm
on
pretty
the street,
sure.
it's an honor, right? It's interesting.
You're in our
Because
hearts,
of
buddy.
this whole transition, I've
Respect
been
you.
thinking a lot about my time on these channels and the evolution that we've gone to together. In the beginning, right, I was kind of like the edgy older brother where I would talk about like, oh, did you know that Link is dead? And let's make some boob jokes. And then at a certain point, I evolved into Dad Pat, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
became a
this
little
is
bit more
definitely Dad
mature.
Pat right
I
there.
had the team around me. I had to be more careful about who I was saying was dead on a regular basis. Instead of talking about boobs, I ended up talking about Luigi's bulge. That felt like the right decision. At this
Yep.
point, I think I'm kind of evolving into a Grandpa Pat, you know, for lack of a better term. And just like your grandparents, hopefully cool grandparents, but just like a grandparent, you know, you don't get to see me all the time.
I know
Yeah.
what we should do
And I
for
don't
the
get to
end,
see you all the time.
just like we did for the techno.
And
Blade
maybe we
video.
call and talk to each other every once in a
Absolute.
while. But at the end of the day, that grandpa loves getting to see you. Maybe he shows up at a special event.
Dude, we
maybe he
watched
shows
you
up
since
at a
you were-
holiday.
We were 8.
Maybe he shows up at the Theory
You
Wear
were a
fashion show.
childhood
Who
man.
knows?
You were our childhood.
But he so looks forward to seeing you.
You are the reason why I loved
The
FNAF,
love that
man.
he has for you.
Yeah, you're the reason
doesn't go
why I
away.
even started playing. Heck, you're the
That
reason I
grandpa
made my channel.
Is so proud of you. And he cherishes the relationship that you've had so much. And he is so honored to be a part of your life. To have been a part of helping you grow
Damn.
and helping you experience the world. And he looks forward to seeing you at the next event. And if you see him on the street, we'll hang out. And hopefully he brings you cool, fun gifts. I know this is going to sound cheesy. And I know the internet will probably rake me over the coals. For crying, for one, but I love you guys.
I love you too, man.
We love you, man. You're like the
You're not
father
just
figure we never had.
You're not just
We did have a
bad
father
impressions.
figure.
You're not just
And we still
Bryce
do.
Sales.
I said the father figure we didn't have.
What you have done for me, and from everyone I talk to, what
I'm
I've done
starting to
for
cry
you
now. Shit.
is special.
No one can see.
I know no one can see it, but I can feel it.
When I was in middle school, I had this goal of making the world a better place because I had been a part of it. It didn't have to be big. It didn't have to be curing cancer. But I wanted there to have been a ripple impact.
You're going down as a legend,
just
man.
because I was there.
The
Butterfly
legend of
effect,
YouTube. Just like Markiplier will.
We've done it. I think we've been able to achieve something great here.
You know what? At the end of this video, I
You
hope
have
you
taken
play
me
your old
on the
theme
wildest,
song
craziest
for Game Theory.
13-year ride of my life. And I'm so grateful. So, Grandpa Pat is going to sign out now, and I'll be around for a couple more weeks. I'll be living around the house for a while. We'll have a big family reunion celebration. Then I'll go off to my little shack in the woods, my retirement home down in Florida, and I'll pop in every once in a while. Anyway, at this point in my notes, I had it written that we're going to start the countdown clock of that final 10 episodes, final 9 episodes. So start that. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Hopefully the editors don't rip off Unis Honest too much. If they do, I hope they change it. And with that,
9 theories.
I'm going to say, for one of the final times, not the final time, but one of the final times, as always, my friends, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Don't you dare hug me.
I'm not hugging you.
Fuck, man.
God, I feel like shit.
Before we actually do end it,
To Matpat
thank you, Matpat, for
giving us
everything.
and giving us our child.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh, God.
for giving
Now
us.
the tears are coming down.
Thank you for giving us a childhood that we were happy about.
Yeah, and when times got tough between our parents, thank you for being there.
Thank you. We love you, man. We love
And,
the work you've done and everything.
We'll continue to watch your videos, your old ones and your new ones, for years to come.
Bye.